A grass fire near Cal Expo along the American River Parkway. Just look at that plume of smoke on the ABC 10 tower cam. And Madison, there was also a slowdown along Business 80 because of this fire.
Yeah, you can imagine why people could see this from every direction, including I-5. We are told thick smoke made it hard for drivers to see ahead of its course, and many people watching that firefight too.
ABC 10's Van 2 is there live. And Van, this is the second fire in that location today.
Chris, that's right. The firefighters here today had a busy day. They worked hours to secure this containment line at this fire, which is now in a mop-up mode. So for the Sacramento Fire Department, they say this fire, the second fire, has burned 30 acres. This is just west of Business 80 and south of Exposition Boulevard. And that drift smoke that you are talking about that drifted onto the freeway, that heavily impacted traffic. So the next time this may happen again, firefighters warn drivers to take it slowly and not to become another incident within an incident. So this fire right now, the Sacramento Fire Department tells me, was very difficult. There are no fire hydrants out here, so about 80 personnel came to this fire to put it out, bringing in water tankers and dealing with erratic winds. So of course that wind carrying that thick black smoke from this heavy dry brush onto that freeway, and really making it a difficult fight for firefighters. And it is also very difficult for firefighters as well to determine the exact cause of this fire with the lack of witnesses and evidence. But the Sacramento Fire Department does say it follows a familiar pattern.
I can tell you these fires are hard to determine, but it's more than likely, because 99% of these fires are human caused and done by human activity. That'll be for the investigator to determine.
So now that the fire has been pretty much contained, investigators can now come in to try to determine that cause. But as of right now, the fire department does tell us, thankfully, there are no injuries, no evacuations that they know of any of the encampments that are along this area. And they do say that the fire department will be monitoring this area throughout the night in case of any flare-ups or that might ignite throughout the night. Back to you guys.
Certainly not out of the question, given that we've already had 2 fires in that location today. Van 2 live for us tonight.
We're also following more breaking news right now. More evacuation orders have been issued in the Tamarack fire burning in Alpine County.
Just hours ago, officials ordered the Mesa Vista area and communities along Blue Lakes Road to evacuate. I want you to take a look. These are the mandatory evacuation orders in place right now. Mesa Vista off Highway 88, and again, Blue Lakes Road. Markleyville also is still under evacuation orders.
Also still on the list, Grover Hot Springs and the campground area around it, Shea Creek and Markley Village.
Alpine Village, Woodford's, East Fork Resort, and people in Hungalete have also been told to leave. The fire has burned more than 23,000 acres and there is zero containment. Sadly, it has destroyed multiple buildings, including homes. And listen to this, smoke from the Tamarack fire is impacting tourism in the South Lake Tahoe area. We spoke to business owners and visitors today. One tells ABC 10 the smoke forced them to close up early yesterday.
It was literally everywhere, so you could smell it, you could taste it, and afterwards there actually was ash on a lot of our bikes and our Surreys. We had to wash all that off this morning.
The good news, that smoke has since cleared up in the South Lake Tahoe Basin, and those in the area also saw some rain this afternoon, a good sign for residents, businesses, and visitors.
Well, we are tracking the newest information on the Dixie fire tonight. Just about an hour ago, Plumas County Sheriff issued a new mandatory evacuation for the community of Seneca. Now, this comes as we're learning that PG&E says its equipment might have sparked the Dixie fire. Now, this fire has burned more than 30,000 acres in Plumas and Butte counties, growing twice as big overnight. Containment now at 15%. As we mentioned, evacuation orders are growing. It is burning near the 2018 campfire burn scar, which is another fire PG&E is accused of starting. ABC 10's investigative reporter Brandon Ritteman has been spending years working on PG&E's wildfire problem and issues. Brandon, what can you tell us tonight?
Madison, I can tell you PG&E is under a new criminal investigation again. The same prosecutors who successfully convicted PG&E of 84 felony manslaughters for the 2018 Camp Fire are now looking into the Dixie Fire. If PG&E is found to be involved in causing this one, it'd be under a very different set of circumstances.
The Dixie Fire brought back painful memories for the people in and around Paradise, sparked in an area full of PG&E high voltage lines, including the one that broke in 2018, sparking the Camp Fire, the deadliest, most destructive wildfire in California history. From where that fire sparked, you only have to go 1.5 miles up Feather River Canyon to reach the place where the Dixie Fire started last week. PG&E reported it had problems with power lines in the area when this fire sparked, but not its big high-tension lines. The parts investigators seized here look more like these, the kind of power line parts you see in neighborhoods on wooden poles, small enough to be coiled by hand. These photos come from last year's Zog Fire in Shasta County, which killed 4 people. A federal judge says PG&E committed safety violations in that fire by failing to cut down a dangerous tree that threatened to fall on the line. California laws require power companies to trim and cut trees that could spark fires. At last week's Dixie Fire, PG&E reports a tree was laying on the power lines when its crew got there. The company does not admit to causing the fire. PG&E also says it had 2 blown fuses in the area. Criminal investigators are analyzing all the parts they took to figure out the full sequence of events and what actually started the flames. PG&E says its crews thought they saw a blown fuse Tuesday morning, but they were standing on the other side of the river in this steep canyon. The crews didn't reach the location until the evening, more than 9.5 hours later. Why the delay? PG&E blamed roadwork on a bridge across the canyon. The company does own a helicopter pad just a short drive away, but it wouldn't answer when we asked why they didn't fly to the location to have a look sooner. Even though it took PG&E all day to get there, investigators tell ABC 10 the fire seems to have broken out in the evening, around the time PG&E's crews were on scene. One of PG&E's employees reportedly tried to put out the first flames on his own. Governor Gavin Newsom, who was instrumental in bailing PG&E out after the deadly Camp Fire, declined to address the Dixie Fire directly, pointing to the active investigation.
When that investigation's concluded by CAL FIRE, we'll make some comments.
One thing we do know already is this development hurt PG&E's previous wildfire victims. Those victims were paid largely in shares of PG&E stock under the bankruptcy deal brokered by Governor Gavin Newsom. They are now 25% owners of PG&E, even though all of them I've talked to want nothing to do with PG&E anymore. On Wall Street today, those PG&E victims lost $278 million worth of value on those shares. These are the people whose homes and loved ones PG&E burned in 2015, 2017, and the Camp Fire in 2018. The stock is worth almost $2.5 billion less than the amount those victims were told in bankruptcy court. Madison.
Brandon, thank you. Of course, we'll let you know as we learn more from the prosecutors in this case. We'll keep you all updated on air and online at abc10.com.
Let's get you over to Monica now, tracking some thunderstorms, Monica?
Right, and possible new fire starts from all the thunderstorm activity earlier this afternoon. Now, in the red shaded areas here, you can see some of the outlines of the fires that we've been following. The Tamarack fire south of Lake Tahoe. Not much wetting rain around that area, but as we head our way north, perhaps a little bit better wetting rain around the Dixie fire. Not much going on, though, for the Beckworth complex. Now, that's kind of a double-edged sword because around those thunderstorms, you can get really erratic winds and rapid development from those fires spreading. So kind of looking out for a multitude of activity that's associated with this thunderstorm as it starts moving its way eastward here. So we're seeing much more lightning strikes east of the crest at this hour and a lot more rain as well. Locally, the clouds starting to clear out here, made for a very muggy afternoon. Not much rain, though, but humidity holding at about 20 to 25%, almost 30% in some areas. Temperatures, meantime, still mid-90s, near 100. It's been a warm day today. Got a jump start on those afternoon highs after a warm morning for us. Winds currently only about 10 to 15 miles per hour, not really providing much relief into tonight. We're going to hold on to some warm conditions all the way through about midnight, and when we finally drop below 70.
Okay, Monica, thank you. Well, I want to take a look at this. New numbers from CAL FIRE comparing this year and last year. In 2021, we've had 900 more wildfires than at the same point in 2020, and 165,000 more acres have burned.